That's the last time I have to deal with Hades. Well, until Halloween, that is. Hello, folks. This is Dragon Videos, ready to present another list. Top 5 plot twist intros in cartoons and anime. Before I begin, if you're wondering why I'm covered in ash, it was because I had to deal with, of course, Hades, as I was trying to take some crystals that involved plot twists that were insane, and then he wanted to host with me. Of course I said no, cause who wants to hang out with that exploding torch? And of course it resulted in my catastrophic, if not explosive, trip to getting back here. Anyway, I'm going to go over some special plot twists of cartoons and anime. So many of you recall what plot twists are. Basically, it focuses on what we previously knew about the series in TV shows or anime, and then it suddenly comes up to the point where something drastically happens, like what we knew about the entire world that the characters lived in, or what was known about this specific character. These plot twists are what makes shows so engaging and very interactive. So, in this list, I'm going to go over the top 5 moments in anime and cartoons that literally made us want to drop our jaws, bulge our eyes out, and felt like we basically changed our perceptions for this particular character or this particular world that these characters lived in. Be warnful that this is basically spoiler territory, so if you want to avoid that, please leave and go back and watch these shows. If not, then let's begin, ladies and gentlemen, and hold on to your hats. Dane is the Shadow Lord spy amongst the rebellion from Deltora Quest. For some of you that may not know, Deltora Quest is a fantasy series in anime that was previously adapted from a fantasy book made by Emily Rhoda. So it focuses on a story about a young boy named Leaf who journeys throughout the lands of Deltora to retrieve 7 magical gems that are supposedly able to defeat the Shadow Lord, the tyrant who rules the land. Along with the help of Barda and Jasmine, Leaf is able to succeed and restore the belt. Anyway, Dane basically comes off as a shy, mild-mannered boy who wants to help out the rebellion take down the Shadow Lord. And he is a kind-hearted fellow who does everything he can, and for a while he was MIA. And then of course there was mentions about the spy in the rebellion. And well, surely Dane couldn't possibly be part of that, right? Well, it turns out towards the end of the series, he was the Shadow Lord spy. And how he was able to do it? He was a shapeshifter, an Owl. Basically a level 3, which is considered one of the dangerous creatures ever to exist in the world of Deltora Quest. I put this in number 5 because the whole plot twist of it was, I wouldn't say totally predictable, but it definitely comes off as a bit of a stereotype which you would sometimes see in anime, where you would have a very kind-hearted, sweet character suddenly turn out to be this sociopathic jerk who wants nothing more than to kill you. It was also a very interesting plot twist that definitely shook the whole concept of who would be the king of Deltora and how this whole character was. It made the rethinking process pretty well done and makes us even respect Emily Rhoda's writing in Deltora Quest. Part of the reasons I put this plot twist and the other one on the list further up, is because it was basically an underrated anime that not many people have taken the time to see. So anyway, this latest plot twist is where Endon and Jared are not who they appear to be. In other words, Leaf's father is actually the king of Deltora. Let me explain. Earlier in the episodes, after Leaf and the others grabbed the lapis lazuli, it turns out that Endon was basically the prince, but was reluctant to do so, forced to run away. At first, it seemed like the dark-skinned Endon was the likely candidate when we were first led to believe, but it turns out the current Endon is Leaf's father, who was basically the blacksmith, and Doom, the mysterious rogue that was supposedly thought as an old or a Shadow Lord spy, turns out to be Jasmine's father and Jared. But I put this at number 4 because it was definitely a red herring that none of us would even think of considering, and at the same time, it definitely seemed one of those predictable, corny plot twists that we may have seen in other anime in the past, so that's why I put it at number 4. You would find it pretty bizarre of how chill Eva is the majority of the time, considering the fact that she has a huge bounty on her head and is being chased by every single person on the island that wants that money. But she still becomes a decent mentor to Luz, and Luz looks up to her and relies on her as a good teacher and helps her overcome some of her personal barriers. But things take an interesting turn with Eva. You see, in the episode 4 of Owl House, Eva was basically gone to sleep and Luz was still wanting to learn to do magic. So, King stole her an elixir, and at first they tried to get the elixir to drink, but it smashed into a billion pieces. And like any other horror element, the lights suddenly go off, which definitely gives off a little bit of that scary air of what is to come next. Before long, they suddenly find themselves surrounded by a dangerous monster, Eva gone missing. What could possibly go wrong? But it turns out, Eva was that monster the whole entire time, a curse that makes her resemble an owl, hence the term, the Owl Lady. I put this in number 3 because it gives us a new perspective about Eva, and that her situation is a lot more heartbreaking and sympathetic than it really is. Because of this, we can't help but feel bad about Eva's situation. And I'm pretty sure there's more feels to come later on in the series, but it begs the question, who would do such a thing to her? I mean, is it her sister? Is it the Emperor? This Emperor guy that we have yet to see? Also, why would they want to do it? Why on earth would they gain on this sort of power? Which is why I put it in number 3, because this plot twist not only gives us a perspective about Eva, but also gives us an idea of the mysteries that surround the entire series. Oh, number 2 is a doozy. You see, this focuses on the tail end of Season 3, where All Might and All for One are duking it out while Bakugo, Izuku, Karashima, and the rest of the rescue crew trying to escape while All for One and All Might fight. They were holding an all-out bar until All for One revealed a secret. One that involved All Might's mentor, Nana Shimura. Turns out that Tomura Shigaraki is actually the grandson of Nana Shimura. Tenko Shimura is his actual name. And to think that someone just horrifying as Tomura Shigaraki is related to someone as cheerful as her, it's insane! And this just makes the whole situation heartbreaking for All Might. To think that someone who's related to Hero is now suddenly turned into a villain, and there's no possible way to change this situation. But it also in some ways, definitely gives us a strong perspective about Shigaraki and the possible backstory that comes in it. And I'm telling you folks, if you have not read the manga, please read it. There's so much about Tomura at that point. Anyway, before we continue to number 1, I thought it'd be best to throw in some honorable mentions. Peridot being small. She definitely comes off as a bit tall and robotic. At the time, I thought those limbs were part of her clothing, that they were just something that she uses on a daily basis. And the armor definitely gave off her cold facade. But boy, was it a big surprise to find out that she is such a tiny little green Dorito, or an angry slice of pie, as Steven liked to say in Catch and Release. Izuku being complimented by All Might. During Izuku's fight with the sludge villain, he suddenly has a visit again from All for One, after he previously said that Izuku couldn't possibly be a hero because he had no quirk, but after the sludge villain fight, he changed his mind and then reassured Izuku that this was his destiny. This was a heartfelt moment and a plot twist that we definitely did not see coming. I mean, after all, Izuku was told this all his life. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, I was crying at Season 1, Episode 2, tail end of it. Okay. Ever since Back to the Moon at the tail end of Season 3, fans have been fighting over about the whole Rose Quartz scenario. Even during the trial, it left more apprehension and fighting to basically have theory after theory of what really happened throughout the demise of Pink Diamond. Pink Diamond was a beloved leader of Homeworld, quote-unquote, loved, if you want to use that term. Supposedly, she was shattered by Rose Quartz and was never heard from again. Or so many people thought. In a single pale rose, Steven decides to confront Pearl about what had happened during the time of a war, and well, it resulted in him literally going into Pearl's head and then finding the phone, but in doing so, found out a big secret. He found Pearl discussing something with Rose Quartz, and then Rose Quartz said something that really shocked us. I can't exactly shatter myself. Wait, what? Turns out, Rose Quartz is Pink Diamond. The Rose Quartz was just a facade just to end the war. The fake shattering was set up. This was literally the bomb of all Steven bombs. It changed everything about the Steven Universe franchise and the ideals of the Crystal Gems. And this is why I put it at number 1 on this list. Well, folks, this is Dragon Videos, ready to take a shower and get all of this dust and grime off me. If you like this list, please do a like, and if you want to do more, please subscribe, and feel free to add any more plot twists that you would know of. This is Dragon Videos, signing off.